The belly is one of the areas of the body that causes the most insecurity when getting dressed. And that has nothing to do with weight or size. It's about how the fabric falls, where the material clings, and that constant feeling of adjusting your clothes. But elegant women know exactly how to fix that. Not by hiding their entire body under oversized clothes, but by making specific choices that conceal what bothers them and highlight what's beautiful.
You'll leave here knowing exactly what to choose and why. The first thing elegant women know is that loose clothing doesn't solve the problem. Voluminous, unstructured fabrics add visual weight exactly where you don't want it. The secret lies in pieces that drape fluidly without looking shapeless. Tops and dresses made from fabrics with good weight glide over the body without clinging, yet don't form puffy, static folds. Structured viscose, crepe, and satin with body are allies because they fall straight without sticking. When a piece has natural movement, it creates a continuous silhouette instead of clinging at specific points on the torso. Empire cuts, those with a seam just below the bust, work because they interrupt the body's vertical line right before the stomach.
The eye registers the highest point where definition exists, and the rest flows as a harmonious continuation. Dresses and tops with this cut elongate the figure by creating the illusion that the legs start higher. This construction is especially powerful in fabrics that aren't tight, as the loose drape from the bust down doesn't compete for attention with the midsection. Another structure elegant women master is the use of strategic layering.
An open blazer over a plain top creates two vertical lines that frame the body and guide the eye up and down, never fixing on the center. The trick is choosing blazers of the right length, not so short that they cut at the waist and not so long that they shorten the legs. The ideal point ends around the hip bone or slightly below.
Fabrics with some structure, like blended suiting or heavy linen, hold their shape without adding volume. Blazers that are too tight have the opposite effect, pulling and emphasizing, so the ideal cut follows the body without squeezing it. Wrap dresses are brilliant because they create the illusion of a defined waist through the crossing of fabric without depending on the actual waistline. A side knot or front draping draws visual interest away from the center of the belly. The V neckline that accompanies this cut elongates the torso and draws the gaze upward. When the fabric features strategic prints, like medium florals or geometric patterns, they break the visual continuity of the midsection and disperse attention. Prints that are too small can create visual noise, while solid fabrics of poor quality reveal everything, so the middle ground works best. High-waisted pants and skirts are powerful tools when used correctly. The high waist itself doesn't hide the stomach, but it visually repositions where the torso ends and the legs begin. The secret is in the fabric. It needs enough stretch for comfort, but enough structure to resist wrinkling. Technical fabrics with light compression do this well, sculpting without looking like exposed shapewear. Tucking in the hem of a blouse or bodysuit creates a clean line, and if the top ends right at the waistband without excess fabric, the silhouette stays continuous. Peplum tops, those with a small flared ruffle starting at the waist, work because they add controlled volume exactly where it creates curves, diverting the high from the stomach to the hips. The A-line shape of a peplum skirt falling over the midsection softens the outline. But attention, the peplum needs structure or it turns into random bulk. Versions in tailoring or firmer fabrics create the desired architectural effect. It's a piece that requires balance. Too large a peplum looks like costume, too small and it loses its function. Jumpsuits and long overalls have incredible elongating power when the cut is right. The uninterrupted vertical line from neckline to hem eliminates horizontal breaks that cut the body. Wide leg versions balance any volume on the torso by creating a fluid fabric column. The fabric needs to be light enough not to add bulk, yet with enough drape to avoid creasing. Jumpsuits in linen, light tailoring, or fluid fabrics with a touch of stretch deliver this perfectly. Avoid versions that are too tight or made from thin fabric that reveals every curve. Long open cardigans are wardrobe lifesavers because they naturally elongate the figure. When they reach mid-thigh or lower, they create a vertical frame that slims. The key is choosing versions that aren't heavy. Fine knits, ribbed jerseys, or lightweight wovens maintain the vertical structure without adding width. Wearing a fitted top underneath and a long cardigan on top creates a flattering contrast of silhouettes. The eye perceives the verticality of the open layer, not what's underneath. Shirt dresses or straight-cut slip dresses are elegant because they don't try to define anything. The absence of a marked waist doesn't mean carelessness when the fabric and length are right. Versions in silk, satin, or subtly shiny materials add sophistication. The ideal length is knee or below. Too short and it can look like just an oversized shirt. Pairing it with a thin belt worn slightly above or below the natural waist adds definition without constriction. Tops and dresses with side or diagonal draping are designed to guide the eye. A drape starting at the shoulder and descending diagonally crosses the belly without calling attention to it. The gathered fabric creates texture and depth that disguise actual volume. High-quality jerseys and knits with fluid drape are ideal for this type of design. Central front draping, on the other hand, can add bulk exactly where you don't want it, so placement makes all the difference. Tunics with side slits are interesting because the slit's movement creates vertical lines as you walk. Even if the piece is loose overall, the slits prevent it from becoming a static rectangle. The side opening reveals the layer underneath, usually pants or leggings, creating a visual break that elongates. Fabrics like linen, structured cotton, or heavy viscose hold the tunic's shape without clinging. The ideal length fully covers the hip area, letting the slit start at mid-thigh. Long, structured vests over plain tops create sophisticated vertical layers. The vest adds architecture to the look without adding circular bulk to the torso. Versions in tailoring, leather, or suede maintain the piece's upright form. When the vest is open, it frames the body like a blazer would, but without sleeves and with a more fluid cut. The absence of sleeves removes side bulk, visually slimming the frame. Oversized shirts worn open over fitted tanks or bodysuits create an intentional contrast of volumes. The loose shirt doesn't cling, and the fitted layer underneath defines areas like arms or neckline, drawing attention away from the belly. Oversized works when the fabric is light, like fine cotton or linen, and when the shirt isn't so large it looks borrowed. The right fit is when it falls naturally on the shoulders without slipping off. Base layers, those fitted pieces underneath, do the foundational work. Pieces that smooth without over-compressing create a clean canvas for clothes to fall better. Bodysuits with strategic seams and light compression panels sculpt subtly. The difference between a good and bad base layer is comfort. If you can breathe and move naturally, it's right. If you're holding your breath or constantly adjusting, it's wrong. Kimonos and kimono-style coats add vertical drama without heaviness. The straight, wide cut, tied at the waist or left open, creates an elongated silhouette. Printed fabrics on kimonos divert attention, while solid-colored versions elongate more. The ideal length reaches mid-hip or lower. Worn over monochromatic looks, the kimono becomes the focal point, drawing the eye completely away from the midsection. Off-the-shoulder or Bardot necklines draw attention to the upper body. Exposing shoulders and collarbones creates a strong horizontal line that competes for visual focus. When the upper area is the highlight, the belly becomes secondary. These necklines work best when the body of the piece isn't tight, allowing the fabric to fall freely from the shoulders. High-waisted pencil skirts with tucked-in blouses create a defined, classic silhouette.
The skirt's structure holds everything in place without emphasizing irregularities when the fabric has some stretch. The high waist positions the dividing line exactly where it elongates the legs most. Slightly loose blouses tucked in with controlled volume soften the belly without adding bulk. The secret is not tucking in too much fabric, just enough to create a clean waistline. Midi dresses with an inverted mermaid cut, fitted at the knees and looser above, balance proportions in an interesting way. The eye follows the movement of the skirt, while the more relaxed top doesn't cling. Fabrics like thick-ribbed knits or structured weaves hold shape without hugging too tightly. It's a cut that requires confidence because it's different, but it works especially well in monochromatic looks.
Jumpsuits with wide leg pants and a structured upper half create instant elegance. The palazzo-style leg moves as you walk, creating motion that dominates the visual field. If the top has an interesting detail, like controlled gathers or side draping, the attention splits between top and bottom, never the middle. Fluid fabrics like crepe or heavy viscose drape perfectly for this kind of piece.
Oversized denim jackets cinched at the waist with a thin belt create a defined silhouette without squeezing. The structure of the denim keeps the jacket's shape, and the belt adds visual definition. Underneath, plain dresses or top and skirt combos form the base the jacket frames. An oversized denim jacket worn open works like an elongated vest, and belted closed creates a completely different third silhouette.
Shirt dresses and oversized silk or satin pieces glide over the body without friction. The fabric's weight naturally pulls downward, preventing the piece from catching anywhere. These versions work best in longer lengths from knee to below, since too short can compromise elegance. Pairing with structured shoes or boots maintains the balance between the piece's fluidity and the definition of the accessories. Tops with ruffles or frills placed strategically away from the belly add visual interest elsewhere. Ruffles on shoulders, necklines, or sleeves create deliberate volume that balances proportions. The eye automatically goes where there's texture and movement. These pieces work best when the rest of the outfit is more fitted or structured, creating contrast.
Tailored sets with straight trousers and long blazers convey authority and elegance. The linearity of the set creates a visual column, interrupted only by accessories and shoes. When the blazer is worn closed over a bodysuit or plain blouse, the silhouette becomes perfectly clean. High-quality suiting fabrics that resist wrinkles and hold their structure make all the difference between looking polished and looking sloppy.
Concealing the belly elegantly has nothing to do with hiding who you are. It's about choosing garment structures that work in harmony with your silhouette. Every piece mentioned here works because it was designed to create specific lines, redistribute volume, or guide the eye. There's no magic trick, just understanding how fabrics, cuts, and proportions interact with the body. When you understand the reasons behind each choice, you stop depending on quick fixes and start building a wardrobe that truly works for you.
Start by testing one or two of these strategies. Notice how your body responds to different cuts and fabrics, and keep refining. Elegance is built through conscious choices, not by accident.